Well, I think a lot has to do with the man and the woman. Scripture says one man esteems one day above the other, and that one says the days are the same. Let everybody be persuaded
Maybe
in their
persuaded,
in their heart, on their mind. What I want to say for us is, as agreed by the two parties, that's how you set boundaries. That means there's something you like to do as a man, a sexual activity, and the other person does not like it, then you don't force it. That becomes like an abuse. So some things some other couples might enjoy doing, some other couples might not even do it. I think we should not put boundaries. I think we should keep ourselves away from people's bedroom. Husband and wife, what they do in there, as long as both of them agree to it. I hope that is a good way to start this conversation.
Yeah, it is. I'll just while you're talking, I was just thinking that when it comes to boundaries, it's funny that for men, at least from what I understand, and even with us,
What you understand? How do you understand? It's not.
wait first. That for men, for them, there's like no boundaries in the sense that whatever the wife initiates or brings as an adventure in sex, they are good to go. But
No, I don't agree.
no, what I mean is men. I think it's the women that have more, inhibitions when it comes
Okay.
to sex than the men. For
Can we call it love making? Love making instead of sex.
but sex is just a generic term.
Okay, I'll use love making. You can use sex. It's love making.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Conversation, a platform where life topics are discussed.
So I think for the women have some more women have inhibitions when it comes to sex than men. However, there are also some women that are, don't mind being adventurous, but like you said, there has to be some agreements and communication. I think for us when we got married, what helped, I remember before we got married, I think a few weeks before we got married, we bought that book together, The Art of Marriage, because we were, too naive coming into marriage. And why are you looking at me like that?
Continue. Oh, good Lord.
But that book really helped.
What was in the? Oh, good Lord.
The art is not that one you're talking about, not that book. The basic one, The Art of Marriage by
Out of marriage.
Tim LaHaye.
Like, okay.
That yeah.
Okay. We got one or two books before we got married. That helped because I didn't have experience. So we had to read to learn. But I think what is best for couples is to grow in it as an adventure. It helps their friendship.
Okay, so for me, I think, like you said, growing. I like that part. Growing in intimacy, communication, because sometimes I don't want to say Christians to be just generic or generally, but some people, I've spoken to people, and I know that for many people, sex is kind of, they make it look rigid. It has to be, but sex can be fun. You can laugh at yourself because maybe you're still growing in it. You don't understand certain things about your spouse, your partner. But you can laugh at yourself, ask questions, talk through that journey. Don't make it look like one sacred. It's sacred, but you can have fun while doing it.
One of the challenges I had when we got married was, I think it's part of my upbringing, the crude upbringing kind of. So sometimes we were together and then we're making love, and maybe I do something that she doesn't really enjoy, and she says she doesn't like that, or she doesn't want that. I feel like I'm rejected. I just snap off.
Oh my
I just
goodness.
cut off and become a bit cold. But I've
And
outgrown that now. Then so when she says that, I just assume that maybe she doesn't like me, you know. I just come cold and but we talked about that.
But
and,
you didn't tell me in time too, because you
because I don't know how to explain it. It make me look like an amateur or like someone that is not, you know.
But we were both amateurs. We're just learning
What
together.
to do.
Yeah.
So just be quiet and you feel bad, you know. But thank God for understanding each other. Are there any activities that are not like scriptural or not or in marriage, right? I don't I don't know. Okay, let me say, I don't think so actually. What scripture says, well, so, I'm a pastor, okay, I'm a Christian. What scripture says is, my body belongs to her, and her body belongs to me. So when we're together, as long as you're not abusing the person, like physical abuse, I feel whatever you do there, it's okay. Enjoy each other. Don't kill each other. Enjoy each other. So if the other person likes any different things, and then there's no complaint and she enjoys it, you guys should flow together, that is okay. I'm laughing.
Okay.
There are things that we didn't do immediately when we got married, but after some years, it happened, and I get scared a bit, you know, like, where did she learn it from?
Lord
Who
of
taught her this
mercy.
one? Hey! But, you know, thank God for Jesus.
Oh my goodness. You know, the funny thing is that I think from what I've read and from my own experience, I think it becomes easier and more adventurous for women as they grow older.
Is that why you're always chasing me around the house? We have 4 children. You've been chasing me recently. More than normal. Even, yes.
Oh, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay, continue.
So I think, like you said, I agree that when it comes to certain activities, of course, the Bible doesn't really give specifics as to what, you know. However, you know, there has to be agreement with a lot of things. Things have to be, you agree. Even when it comes to love making and the different mannerisms and expressions of it.
Expressions.
I also know that, like you said, some activities you grow into. So there are certain things that we had to, and when you notice that, you know, maybe one of us prefers something and the other person is not ready for that particular expression, then you allow the person get used to it before, you know, and maybe talk about it, learn about it together. However, I'm not sure, this is just, I think that, I don't know, I really don't know if there are particular types and styles that may be harmful physically, you know. So that's why we, like you said earlier as well, talking about it to people, ask questions, even medical people. Okay, that this particular style, you know, I don't want to.
Just expression. This particular expression,
yeah, you know,
whether it's harmful.
There are some, I don't, but they use a lot of violence.
No.
That you know.
No, I've had it. I saw it somewhere. Yes, I saw it. I mean, and I was scared. You change somebody to the bed. That is the demonic thing.
No, wait.
Change. Well, maybe the person will allow them to change.
Yes, no, they do. They like it. In fact, sometimes they spank them. They beat themselves.
Like. I want to encourage everybody listening to us. That's not advisable. It's not advisable.
See, I had a discussion with a group of ladies last year, and Christians, and we were talking about this in the sense that they want to do it. They like it.
They should chain you like this.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Me.
Yes.
What's the name of that? Don't name it.
S B D S.
Don't
Yes.
let people that don't know
No.
before they
Okay.
know.
Sorry.
But it's just that some things are a bit violent, and it's not. I don't think it's. I don't know. I think they should say counseling. Couples to use pornography as a guideline. Married couples use pornography as a guideline for lovemaking. Well, I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's okay because it's not a good thing to learn from. Number one, it's acted, scripted, and a lot of things. Just like any movie, a lot of things go into it that I think it would be hard or unrealistic for couples to be able to express. And for us men especially, our minds are very powerful. The moment you pick those kind of things up, you cannot get the expression from your spouse. The temptations are there to, in quote, go out, for someone that can express that kind of expression to you. So I come from, I'm a Yoruba man from Southwest Nigeria. They say what you don't eat, what you won't eat, you don't want to put it close to your nose. So many of the things we see in pornographic pictures or movies are, should I use the word, unrealistic, scripted, and you don't want to get yourself in a mode that will destroy your home because your wife is not that woman, your husband is not that man.
Yeah.
So there are healthier ways to learn. There are books that are very decent, neat, and clear that you can learn from. I think people should just show responsibility for their minds, I don't know what you feel about
I
that.
agree. I think even beyond pornography, there are X-rated movies. There are movies that we watch that could also act. They may not be pornographic movies in that sense.
Yeah.
However, the scenes in the movies.
It's
So
graphic.
I know that sometimes sex starts in the mind, really.
That's true.
And sometimes when you're acting, so it may not even be about whether it's acted or it's scripted, but the picture is there. So even when
Especially for the man.
even the women,
Are you serious?
yes. Okay, so when it comes to infidelity in marriage, especially when there's sex involved with the other person, or whoever it is, it needs help, counseling, professional help to go, because there are different stages of how these things play out. The victim of the infidelity, maybe the husband or the wife, would have a lot of questions that needs to be answered, and would want to process. So there's a place of guilt, there's a place of denial, there's a place of, was I at fault, So it's a lot of questionings, clarifyings that will need some external help, in the sense of, so it's a lot of healing, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of talking through with the person, with the partners, or whoever is involved. So when it comes to infidelity and sex, it's a journey, because sometimes you've forgiven, sometimes you think you've moved on, but something just triggers and says, and you start thinking that, okay, was I not good enough for my husband or for my wife? Sometimes you play it out in your head that, okay, how did it go? Maybe he or she's thinking about that person while you're together.
Right.
So it's a lot of work that needs to. But the healing, it does get to a point where, I think they both heal, or the wounded person or the victim heals, but they need to allow that process. For trust and all.
I think people need to understand the reality of it. In business, they say trustworthiness is capital. When I trust you, I could leave my money with you. I could even give you my money to do business because I trust you. Now, when it comes to marriage, it's like that. Trust. If that is broken, a lot is gone. And the moment sex is involved with somebody else, it's a whole lot. Like she said, sex is mental. I don't know how it is for ladies compared to men.
I think it's even more for ladies.
Okay, the thinking, a lot is happening, and it's not something you can just gloss over. We happened, you should forgive me. No.
Women we're hearing more stories of women being unfaithful. However, the reasons for may differ in the sense that for men are moved by sight and what they see. It may be, the man can fall into it, or maybe it's easier to hear that a man is unfaithful. When a woman is unfaithful, women, they don't go into sex just straight off like men will do. But for a woman to being unfaithful to the point of making love to another person, a lot of things, because for women it's more of the affection, the words and all, but for it to lead to making love to another or having sex with someone else apart from a husband, a lot of things have been damaged. So the process of getting over those things would require understanding those different factors that play out.
I mean, it was some years ago that I started hearing about emotional adultery, you know, where for a woman, she doesn't have to start with committing the physical act, but she would have gone mentally with the person, and sometimes it's rooted in emotional neglect. And I think in our next episode, we're going to be talking about that a lot, how to rekindle romance in your relationship, how to build your esteem, and things like that. But I want to say, especially for those of us that are married, let's do our best to build the other person rather than destroy the other person, whether you are the wife or the husband. What are you doing to build this person? Are your words building her, or your words damaging her? Are your actions building her? If we all commit to building each other, our society will be a different place. Don't be a demon in the life of somebody. Don't be a destroyer in somebody else's life. I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you. Bye.